Hi Leo, happy early birthday to those of you celebrating July, and welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your July 2023 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's a Celtic crossword as always, and I'll also hold four agreements, wisdom, oracle, and mudra card for you guys. We're actually going to start the reading off by rolling those astrology eyes we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus should be as far as that goes. Alright, so we have Mercury, and Mercury will, I think, toward the end of the month, it'll move in your sign. Let me think about that for a second. Actually, around the middle of the month, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so Mercury, of course, points to communication. It's not really going to be in a retrograde cycle or anything this month, so should be good with that at least. We have Aquarius, and Aquarius is actually your seventh house of partnerships, contracts, relationships, and at least not in July, there won't be much going on there. You will have a full moon there early in August, but could have a focus on your life anyway. And we have 11, and 11th house energy for you guys is Gemini, and of course, at the time of recording this, we're just wrapping up Gemini season, so could just be feeling the energy there. But in general, 11th house points to friendships, groups, hopes, and wishes. Alright, so with all that out of the way, we'll get started with the main spread. In the main situation position, we have the Seven of Wands, and challenging that, we have the Devil. So this is actually a Leo energy here. So it could just be saying you guys might feel like you're constantly having to defend yourselves around a certain situation, and to see this coming up in the challenge position could just be saying that the reason why is it could just be a karmic lesson. So basically, until those lessons are learned, you will tend to repeat those dynamics again. So looks like that's what you're going to be challenged to do this month, is to figure out what you're being taught there. All right, in the foundation position, we have the World. So actually, to me, this is an indicator that you actually already have learned what you needed to learn from the situation. So for some of you, it could just be one of those things where maybe you're just engaging in it out of habit at this point. But if not that, it could just be saying that, if you really just pull away and just tap into your intuition and really think about what's going on with the situation, it looks like you will be able to realize, okay, this was what this dynamic was meant to teach me, and then you'll be able to move forward. All right, in the past position, we have the Two of Wands. So for some of you, this might say that maybe in the past, for example, you might have had a more adventurous spirit, right? And now maybe here, you're almost reluctant to embrace that energy. So you might stay somewhere that you don't necessarily belong anymore too long now, right? So maybe you went from one opposite to the other, where before you used to possibly always feel like you were leaving things behind quickly, and now you could just be really digging in like, okay, I'm not going to do that anymore. But at the same time, if it clearly doesn't seem to be suiting you, right? I mean, the guy might be winning there, but he doesn't necessarily look like he's comfortable in that position either, right? So it could just be one of those things where, okay, you might win those battles, but at a certain point, wouldn't you just like to not have those battles to begin with, right? All right. In the present position, we have the Seven of Cups. So to see this here does say to me that for some of you, you probably just really aren't seeing the situation clearly right now, right? So even though we can see here, it looks like it's telling you, hey, you've learned the lesson you needed to learn from the situation. Maybe you just haven't integrated it quite yet, right? So it could just be one of those things that you're still trying to figure out. Like I said, we will have Mercury move into your sign around the middle of the month, so maybe you'll get more clarity at that point. All right, and in the near future position, we have the Four of Swords, so Libra energy here, and that actually is your house of communication. So, astrologically speaking, there's not really going to be anything going on there, but it could just be pointing to you guys coming to the realization, like, okay, this is the dynamic that I was in, right? Maybe there was some disappointment around it, and you might have just tried to almost force the situation to go the way you wanted it to, and maybe you come to the realization now that that can't necessarily take place, and now you're just going through the healing process with that, or at least you will in the near future. All right, in the position of your influence in the situation, we have the Two of Pentacles. So Capricorn energy here. So for some of you, this can be around the work dynamic for sure. Um, reason I say that is Capricorn energy represents your sixth house. And again, we saw the Capricorn energy there. I see it in the environment position. So this could definitely be a work related thing for some of you. And it would make sense in a way as far as Pluto recently moved out of Aquarius and into Capricorn again, which it was in for a very extended stay. So maybe it's bringing those old things back up to the surface again, to where you might feel like, oh, I guess I'm not done with this. But really, this could just be showing you that actually you are done with that cycle. You have learned the lesson. You just have to trust in it. All right, in the environment position, we have the Three of Pentacles. And for some of you, what this could be saying then is maybe the lesson for some of you was to cooperate with others, right? Maybe to collaborate with others. So maybe if you've always been the type to, oh, I'm going to do everything solo, I'm going to do everything myself, but it seemed to have led to repeated struggle for you, could just be saying that maybe the better route would be for you to collaborate with others, to, you know, be willing to share, to delegate, right? Responsibilities, things along those lines there. All right, in the hopes or fears position, we have the Chariot. So this is actually the major arcana card for Cancers. So if this were in any other spot, I would say this is more of a timeline thing. But given that it's in the hopes or fears position, I would say this is more of a hope of yours, where you're hoping to see that forward movement, right? And like I said, it looks like you've just been stuck in a karmic cycle for a bit. But from what I'm seeing, it looks like you are actually going to break free from that this month. So good indicator there. And then in the outcome position, we have the Nine of Cups. So yeah, this is definitely an energy of contentment here. Some people refer to it as the wish card, in fact. But yeah, to me, this is that I feel like this is you conquering that lesson, right? Whatever it was. It's like, okay, now I get what it was trying to teach me. I'm good now. And then you're going to be able to move forward. All right. Bottom of the deck, we have the Six of Wands. So this is actually a Leo energy here. And it actually represents the middle 10 degrees of Leo too. So could just be saying that for some of you might take till the very beginning of August for you to feel like you've really overcome the situation. But either way, it looks like it's coming up pretty soon for you guys. All right, moving on to your Four Agreements card, we have Don't Make Assumptions, and it says say goodbye to sadness and drama. Okay, it says all the sadness and drama you have lived in your life was rooted in making assumptions and taking things personally. The whole world of control between humans is based on that. Take a moment to consider this. Interesting message there. So yeah, maybe this is something that you have held on to for a long time, right? And maybe you did take certain things personally. But again, like I said, either way, looks like it's saying that you technically have the knowledge you need around the situation, but for whatever reason, it could have just not really necessarily registered. Or, like I said, maybe with that Capricorn, with that Pluto retrograde rather in Capricorn, maybe it has you feeling like if you see similar themes come up again, you might feel like, oh, I guess I didn't learn the thing, but it could just be actually showing you that you did. All right, and moving on to your Wisdom of the Oracle card, we have Go the Distance. There's the artwork, and the number is 47. So we'll see what this has to say. Okay, essential meanings says endurance, strength, the long haul. The Oracle's message: to bring your dream to life, you must think long term and pay no attention to the fluctuations in the current of your experience. Joy and disappointment commingle with opportunities, so there is no need to fear the occasional obstacle. Life is not a sprint. This card is a reminder that you have endurance, strength, and fortitude to carry you all the way. Remain true to yourself. Your authenticity alone will keep you in alignment with the energy of miracles. What is yours will never be withheld from you. Remember that. So definitely a positive message there. Hopefully that resonated. And the relationship message says you either are in or are calling in a harmonious relationship that can stand the test of time. For better or worse, as you ride the ups and downs and even strain, break yourself, and are remade in new growth, you are being redeemed by the power of regeneration. Harmony does not mean there will never be a wrong note played, but that the relationship is marked by endurance and dedication to overall unity. A new song can be written, an instrument can be tuned, and the symphony of love will play on. Listen with your heart. Isn't it magnificent? So definitely a positive message there. It didn't look like there was much of a relationship dynamic here as far as one-to-one relationships go, but hopefully that resonated either way. And the prosperity message says your most precious dreams are not about instant gratification, but enduring prosperity. This is a time to think long-term and engage in continued action. You will experience momentum building as you translate the ebb and flow into slow and steady movement forward. Your efforts, ideas, and hard work now can lead to greater riches than you can imagine. Stoke the fire so that an uninterrupted stream of energy is available to support you in all the phases of manifestation. Be assured that you are in the right place right now. So, again, definitely a pretty positive message there as well. Hopefully that resonated. And lastly, we have a Mudra for you guys. So this is your Mudra here. It's the Chin Mudra, and the keyword for it is awareness. All right, see if I can get everything in the frame there. Yeah, there we go. So if you want to pause it or take a screenshot to read what it has to say, you can. But under benefits, it says sharpens the intellect, reduces daydreaming and mental fantasy during meditation, lifts depression, opens the lower lobes of the lungs, especially when accompanied by deep diaphragmatic breathing. So if that sounds like a mudra you think would be beneficial for you guys, we'll put the names in the description of the video as always. Once again, happy early birthday to those of you celebrating July, and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.